Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Native English. I'm Luna, and right here with me is Noah.
Hey everyone, today's episode is super interesting. It's all about how you can tell if your English is actually improving. You know, when you've been learning for a while, sometimes it's hard to know how good you really are.
Exactly. Like, how can you tell if all that practice has really paid off? It's something every English learner wonders about.
And today, we've got a fun fact that might surprise you. If you think you're just sleeping and resting at night, well, think again.
Oh yeah, I read this interesting research by a scientist named Mathieu Karoma, and get this, it says you can actually learn languages in your sleep. Isn't that wild?
Wait, seriously? So while we're knocked out and dreaming, we're actually learning? That's pretty amazing.
Right? I mean, we spend about a third of our lives sleeping. So if our brains can keep working on English while we sleep, we're making way more progress than we thought.
It's like having a secret 24/7 study session. And if you've ever had a dream where you're speaking in English, it could mean that English is starting to feel natural to you, even in your subconscious.
Exactly. It's a big sign that your brain is getting comfortable with English. So, dreaming in English might not just be random, it's actually a sign you're improving.
We'll talk more about how that works later on. But for now, let's just say your brain is way busier than you think while you're sleeping.
So, let's dig into what it really means when you're dreaming in English. Have you ever paid attention to the language you're speaking in your dreams?
Right. Like, if you find yourself chatting in English in a dream, it's not just random. It actually means your brain is doing some serious work behind the scenes.
Exactly. When you're dreaming in English, that's a big sign of progress. It means you've reached a milestone, which is like hitting a major step in your learning journey.
Yeah, it's like you've gone from just studying English to actually living it. You're not translating everything in your head anymore. English is becoming a natural part of your thoughts, even when you're asleep.
And that's what we call language integration. Integration basically means bringing something new, like English, into your daily thoughts and even your inner world. When you start dreaming in English, it shows that English is becoming part of your mind's natural flow.
Totally. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The word subconscious. Your subconscious is the part of your mind that works in the background. You're not aware of it, but it's always picking up information, even when you're not fully paying attention.
Right. So when English starts showing up in your dreams, it's a huge indicator that your subconscious is processing English in a deep way. That's no small thing. It means your brain isn't just memorizing vocabulary, it's starting to think in English naturally.
It's like if you're dreaming about ordering coffee and you find yourself saying, "I'll have a latte, please," without thinking twice. That's a milestone because it means you're not struggling to form sentences. It's just happening automatically.
Exactly. Or imagine you're dreaming about talking with a friend and you just slip into English without even realizing it. That's your brain telling you, "Hey, I've got this. English is becoming normal for me now." It's a sign that all your hard work is paying off in a big way.
And here's the cool part. This can happen even if you're not actively studying. Watching a show, listening to a podcast, or even hearing people speak English in the background can sneak into your subconscious. Your brain stores all of that, and it sometimes comes out in dreams.
Yeah, that's what we call passive learning. Even if you're just relaxing with a movie or some music, your brain is still picking up new words, phrases, and even sounds in English. And when you're asleep, your subconscious pulls that all together, which is why English can pop up in your dreams.
So if you ever wake up and remember a dream where you were speaking English, it's like your brain saying, "You're ready." It's a real milestone that shows how far you've come.
Right. It's like unlocking a new level in a game. Dreaming in English means you've moved past just memorizing words and grammar. You've integrated English into your mind in a way that's starting to feel automatic.
So next time you dream in English, get excited. It's proof that English is becoming a natural part of your thinking. That's a pretty amazing achievement.
So, why is dreaming in English such a positive sign? Well, Let's start with something called automaticity. That's a fancy word, but all it really means is doing something without thinking about it too much.
Right. Like when you ride a bike, you're not constantly thinking, okay, pedal now, balance, steer. You just do it automatically. So when you dream in English, your brain is starting to process thoughts naturally in English without needing to translate.
Exactly. This is a huge step in language learning because it means your brain is comfortable enough to think in English on its own. You're not forcing it. It's happening naturally.
And that's why it's such a big deal. It shows that English is becoming like second nature. You're not just learning, you're living in the language, even in your sleep.
Plus, dreaming in English can really give you a confidence boost. Think about it. If you can handle English in your dreams, where everything's a bit random and you're not even fully in control, it means you're really getting close to fluency.
Totally. And confidence is so important in language learning. Once you realize, hey, I can even dream in English, you start feeling way more sure of yourself when you're awake and speaking.
Actually, we've had some fun stories from listeners about this. One listener shared that he had a dream where he was ordering food at a restaurant in perfect English, but then he accidentally ordered 10 burgers instead of one.
Oh, that's hilarious. I remember another listener said she had a dream where she was teaching English to aliens. She woke up thinking, wow, maybe I'm ready to teach on Earth too. Dreams can be weird, but they're also a good sign of progress.
Exactly. And it's just so cool to hear these stories because it reminds us that language learning is full of funny, unexpected moments. Plus, it shows that dreaming in English is a shared experience. Lots of learners go through it, and it's a real confidence boost.
So if you ever catch yourself dreaming in English, remember, it's not just a random thing. It's your brain showing you how far you've come. Celebrate it.
So, let's dive into some ways to help encourage dreaming in English. One of the best tips is to immerse yourself in English right before bed. That could mean watching a short English video, listening to a favorite English song, or even catching up on one of our daily native English episodes.
Definitely. Immersing yourself like this can make a huge difference. Actually, I've been trying to learn a bit of Spanish, and my teacher suggested a similar technique. She told me that by listening to Spanish right before bed, I'd be more likely to dream or think in Spanish during sleep.
Oh, that's cool. And it makes sense, right? By surrounding yourself with English just before you sleep, you're giving your brain the signal that this language is important, so it might carry it into your dreams.
Another great tip is to mentally go over your day in English. Just run through things like, I woke up, I went to work, I met my friend. This is a simple but powerful exercise to get your brain thinking in English.
Yes, it's like giving yourself a little recap in English. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You're telling your brain, hey, English is the language we're using, which can help you make even more progress.
Here's another one. As you look around, try to name everything you see in English. Like if you're in your room, think bed, window, bookshelf. This keeps your vocabulary fresh and helps you think in English instead of translating from your native language.
Good one. It's a quick exercise, but it really reinforces vocabulary. Instead of stopping to translate, you'll just know the word in English automatically, which is so helpful.
And finally, try having some mini conversations with yourself. Ask yourself simple questions like, what did I eat today? Or what's my plan tomorrow? Then answer them in full sentences in English, like you're chatting with a friend.
I love that. It's a great way to practice without any pressure. Plus, it's a fun habit that gets your brain more used to forming sentences naturally. The more comfortable you get, the more likely English is to show up in your dreams.
Exactly. It's all about building those habits, so English becomes second nature even when you're asleep.
So, try out these tips and see if they help. You might just find yourself speaking English in your dreams before you know it. All right, so here's the main takeaway. If you're dreaming in English, it's a huge sign. It means your brain is really absorbing the language and making it part of your daily life, even in your sleep.
Absolutely. Dreaming in English shows that you've hit a big milestone. Your brain is now so comfortable with English that it's showing up in your subconscious, and your English level is improving.
So, here's a fun challenge for you, our listeners. Have you ever had a similar experience? If you've ever dreamed in English, tell us about it. Describe what happened, or maybe something funny or surprising that you said in your dream.
And if you haven't had an English dream yet, try some of the tips we shared today. Start training yourself a little before bed, and who knows, you might start speaking English in your dreams sooner than you think.
Yes, let's see how creative you can get with it. We'd love to hear your stories. And remember, the more you immerse yourself, the faster you'll reach this milestone.
Thanks so much for tuning in today, everyone. We hope this episode gave you some fun insights into learning English, even while you sleep.
And don't forget to join us next time.
We'll see you all soon. Keep dreaming in English, and take care.